Hey guys, welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews, and today we're going to talk about GameStop's Payscale. So, a video similar to this may have went up at some point, but we are going to talk about the Payscale as a whole. So, the average part-time employee, like if you get hired in, is, and I'm going to use the names from when I worked there, because I honestly don't remember what the new names are. I've been told what they are, they don't stick in my head. So if you got hired in as a game advisor, which would just be your normal employee, the average person working there, part-time employee, maybe getting 4 to 12 hours a week possibly, you're probably going to make minimum wage. So for example, in Ohio, it'd be like probably about $8.40 is what you're going to get hired in at. It's a little bit above what our minimum wage is by maybe like 10, 15, 20 cents. But keep in mind, the per state minimum wage exists because of how much the cost of living is in that state. Like here in Ohio, it is much cheaper than a lot of other states. So, that would be your basic employee. Sure, whatever. It's a part-time job. Chances are the person working there. Now, if I were only getting 4 hours a week, yes, that blows. There's really not anything. So that particular position is killed by the fact that you're working no hours. And depending on the store, you are going to be expected to give good numbers in your 4 hours of working. So then you're going to have what's called the SGA, which is the Senior Game Advisor. This is a third key position. So you are a manager in everything but title. So you are technically like getting prepped and groomed to move your way up to a manager position. You are a part of the management team. You will be doing counts. You will be opening and closing the store. You should probably expect to make anywhere from $9.50 to $10.50 an hour in that position. That would be what you should expect to make. That is a full-time position. Keep in mind, when I say full-time, that means 35 hours or above is what they'll give you. So, full-time. Then, after that, which keep in mind that SGA position is a good position to gain some retail management experience and move on to another company and take it elsewhere. Then you have the assistant manager position, which you should typically expect to make around $12 an hour. At least that's what it used to be. It could have changed. We'll get into that part here momentarily. As the assistant manager, though, you are essentially just able to do most of what the store manager is able to do, and you're kind of getting prepped to run your own store. So some stores don't have an assistant manager, from what I have heard. I believe that's a newer thing. But the assistant manager would take on a lot of those responsibilities to help lighten the load for the store manager, which $12 an hour is, it's whatever. That's not god awful for an assistant manager position there. I do know some that have made more. I know some assistant managers who have made up to around $15 an hour. I've specifically heard of assistant store managers getting offered that. So this is where this is going to get really interesting. I've heard recently that store managers make around $14 an hour. Apparently, and I've had a lot of people also tell me through comments and stuff on Twitter that that's what they determined would have been an equal amount to the salary that they were making. They're not required to work overtime anymore, but they can work like 5 hours of overtime a week at $14 an hour, and this is what they base that would have been worth. I know a lot of store managers were making $40,000+ a year before this change, and I think $14 an hour is ridiculous for a store manager position. Like, that is terrible pay. I would not want to take on the amount of responsibility with balancing a P&L, having to motivate sales and all of that different stuff in the store, having to confront anyone who's stealing, especially when it comes to internal theft. I mean, there's so much responsibility you are now having to take on for what feels like nothing. I make more than that at my store that I work at, which isn't a GameStop store, keep in mind, because I no longer work for them. But I make more than that as a customer service manager. I am the lowest level of management in my store, and I make more than that. I don't have to balance a P&L. I just work with angry customers, which the store manager is also going to have to do. I mean, you were literally running an entire store. You were hiring people. Hiring people's terrible. Some people interview really well and then turn out to be complete pieces of garbage after you start working with them. I mean, you know, a lot of people just know what you want to hear when they're interviewing with you. So they can make an interview seem awesome, and then you get them and it's like, man, how did I wind up hiring this person? So, I mean, I don't know. I'll run a poll on this. You guys let me know if you think that's fair pay for a store manager position, or if you would accept that store manager position for that pay. You can also let me know in the comments down below. But oh man, I would probably have turned that down. That's not enough for me. Sorry. But guys, I'll have plenty more content coming for you soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.